Boris Valin directs and stars in the French undercover cop thriller Little Jaffna, which stands out in the crowded crime genre. Valin plays Michael, who lives in Paris's Tamil district of Little Jaffna, who is infiltrating a street gang that is financing the rebels in the Sri Lankan Civil War. As Michael integrates himself deeper, he begins to question his own identity and connection to his past and culture. The film is Valin's feature directorial debut, expanding his short of the same name from 2018, and it's clear he's got a promising visual eye, with that very specific setting in the Sri Lankan diaspora making this feel extremely unique, because it's a view of Paris that we rarely see. There's undeniably the influence of Scorsese and De Palma, but what really struck me about the movie is how bold it looks with these bright, vibrant splashes of colour everywhere, especially in the clothing that Michael and the gang members wear. There's a brash quality that can be especially felt in the early scenes, running around in the streets, getting into trouble and fights, that's uncommon in a genre that tends to be gritty and desaturated. It's a shame the movie can't keep up that momentum, as the gang members are tried to be more subtle, so you get these more conventional sections of tension as Michael tries to sneak around without getting caught. But even so, the energy and sense of community beats through this film, and Valin captures it in a way that feels alive. The plot itself is a bunch of fairly familiar tropes of undercover cop movies, like torn allegiances and not knowing where your cover ends and the real you begins, but the cultural specifics adds a lot of nuance and complexity that freshens them up. Valin's performance in front of the camera is internalised and close to the vest, but his expressions speak to how conflicted the character is, especially as he finds a feeling of connection that he knows he will have to betray. Rescued by his grandmother after his father gave his life to the cause, Michael moved to Paris when he was 4, and the struggle of being Sri Lankan but wanting to be French is represented in his vitiligo, which is makeup, but Valin himself also has. That personal conflict is something I think the movie struggles to fully wrestle with, as it doesn't really interrogate Michael's role in the police, and that shows in the film's ending. The movie could have concluded on this complex, ambiguous note if it ended just 2 scenes earlier, but then it adds a coda which largely wraps things up in a way which is too tidy to be satisfying.